Hi, this is Kimosabe. I've decided to do a review on the Hanwei Pearce Longsword. Came in the mail the other day, and let's get started. So, here it is, in its scabbard. Some stats. The length of it, overall, is listed by Cultivar Athena as 46 3/4 of an inch, and that's 120 centimetres overall. The blade, 34 15/16. I measured it at 89.5. It's an oak shot type 18A blade. The grip is 9 inches or 23.3 centimetres. The grip overall is 29.3 centimetres. It's made out of 5160 carbon steel. The point of balance is 3 inches and 7/8 of an inch, or about 9 centimetres is what the best I could actually balance it at. It's a scent stopper pommel type. Comes with a pommel nut rather than a peen construction, which for me was one of the buying points of it, and more of that later. It has fullers 1/3 of the way up the blade. Alright, so I bought this for a number of reasons. Firstly, because it was within my price point. It cost me about 430 Australian dollars, and I've seen them up to about $500. So I kind of got a reasonably good deal, and that was from an Australian guy on eBay. I mean, I've looked into buying stuff from America and overseas and that sort of stuff, but generally the delivery is prohibitive. It came as the sharpened version, and I wasn't. I mean, this is the first longsword I've had, second sword I've bought, and my understanding of sharp and their understanding of sharp is probably different, because it was sharp enough to cut fruit, I guess, but not sharp enough to cut anything else. I did sharpen it with an AccuSharp, because I'm very new to all this stuff, so I actually called a guy near where I live who was a professional knife sharpener and said, "Hey mate, would you like to sharpen a sword?" And in Australia, he just freaked out and distanced himself from me as, as quickly as he could. He was like, "I think that's illegal." I'm like, "Dude, I don't think it is," but because in my state, you can have swords without a permit, fully sharpened, and that's fine. So I had to do it myself, and like I say, as an utter amateur at this stuff, I did some, looking on YouTube and that sort of stuff, and it turns out the AccuSharp was recommended as a cheap, basic way to do it. I probably mucked it up, but you've got to start somewhere. And I do notice that there's a secondary bevel on there, but I do not have the skill to do it myself. I will be looking into that in the near future. First impressions was it's very light and very handy. I found that the shape of the grip was a bit sort of thinner and boxier than I would have thought. I guess it's a rectangular construction, and I kind of assumed it would be a bit rounder, but so far that's been fine. So it's, like I say, scent stopper pommel nut. It has a wooden handle that's been string wrapped and then covered with leather. Now, some of the other reviews I've seen have suggested that the leather might fray or come off. Thus far, I've used it a little bit. There doesn't appear to be any problems with that. It has very shiny quillons. They're very basic, pretty much straight. It flares up here a little bit. Blade gap between quillons and the blade is actually pretty small. So I don't know if I said, but it's an oak shot type 18A. Tapers to a very fine point. And it's made out of 5160 carbon steel, spring steel. It does flex a little bit. I don't want to do this too much because it is pretty sharp. I have used it for some bottle cutting, and I'll show you a bit of that, and I was very impressed with just how easily it cut through bottles and that sort of stuff. Yes, I don't know if I put a massive edge on it, but let's see, huh? Fucking hell, that's... What am I doing? Fuck.
Definitely got a good edge on that.
Try one-handed. Yeah. Easily cut through bottles and that sort of stuff. Very hard to find tatami mats in Australia. In fact, I can't. And again, the price of getting them from overseas is like just prohibitive. Comes with a scabbard that actually works. The blade doesn't fall out if you hold it upside down. So I can show you. Yep. So nice, secure scabbard, and at this price point I wasn't expecting that sort of thing. The scabbard has a metal throat and metal chape, and it's leather covered. The leather is quite loose, but the leather appears quite fine. I sort of expected a very coarse leather on it. But yeah, it does move around a bit, which, you know, it's clearly got a wood core on it. One of the main reasons I bought this was because of the nut pommel. So you can unscrew the nut, take the whole handle assembly off, take the whole blade out, and then swap it out for a training blade. So that way I can possibly avoid cutting myself to pieces, which should be good. Yeah, it's very basic in its looks. It's utilitarian in appearance. This is a functional sword. And yeah, like I've seen a lot of reviews saying this is a good one to get in that price point. And so I would think the next sword I'll be getting is probably going to be a bit more in the way of decoration and that sort of stuff. But yeah, as a entry-level sword for a newbie, I think it's a good one. Thanks for watching.